A lot of people, I suspect, would like to become full-time traders. How much capital do you think is a realistic start amount?
I mean, obviously, it really depends on what your outgoings are. I mean, I'm quite lucky because my rent is cheap as chips, and because of my disability, I find flying abroad and staying in foreign hotels and that an absolute pain. So I'd rather not do it, So that saves me a lot of money, and so I just don't spend money. I mean, it's shocking how little I spend. I think I actually run 2 cars, believe it or not, and I think last year I only spent on my living expenses and rent and the 2 cars and whatever. It was ridiculous. It was like 15 grand. I just don't spend money. I'm not. I don't go in Waitrose shopping or anything. I just buy stuff from Tesco's or whatever. But.
So if somebody was starting out realistically and they want to become a full-time trader, how much disposable would they need then, do you think?
I reckon for a normal person who has a bit of a life, whatever, I would say you probably need something like 250,000. That kind of level, I would think. I think if you, and obviously, 250,000, if you're making 10% a year, that's 25 grand. But of course, that assumes it's all in ISAs, so you avoid the tax side of things. It's the trouble is you need to have more. It's like if you're spending 20 grand a year living, you need to be making at least 25 because you need to be adding to your capital. You've got to keep growing your capital so that you allow for inflation and whatever. So I think it's very hard to do it on less than 250, I would say. And funnily enough, Robbie Burns, a naked trader, who's like, pretty much everyone knows him in the share world. He's an absolute legend. He's brilliant. He reckons about 250,000.
So if you had that and you were doing well, you'd be generating enough to live off and not have to go to work. And do you know personally any traders that just trade for a living?
I know a few, yeah, quite a few. And again, since I've been doing Twitter, I've sort of like got exposed to a lot more of them, And I mean, it's incredible. I mean, there's people like, David Strader, Carlin's fella, they've made incredible returns. They've been making like 20% a year for year after year after year. They just do so well, on big pots as well. And so it is doable,
It does seem to be a feeling out there that people think that trading is doing not a lot with very big rewards and making loads of money with very little effort. But from the interviews that I've done with traders like yourselves and from talking to you today, I mean, that is certainly seems to be a really big myth.
I think it is a huge myth. And I think one of the big problems people have is their expectations are too high. It's like, if you have a target goal of making 10% a year, you will take the right amount of risk to enable you to do 10% a year. You won't take too much risk, But the problem is, if you want to do 60% a year, 100% a year, you're just going to take on too much risk. And if you're trying to do 100% a year and taking on a massive amount of risk, you're going to end up losing 40% a year. And once you start losing, once you start burning your capital, you're in trouble. As a full-time trader, you've got to protect your capital. That is like the most important thing.
A lot of people like the idea of the excitement of trading. So they trade on, say, exciting companies, like the idea of the get-rich companies, like mining, oil, gambling.
Yeah, it's the classic.
What's your thoughts on that? I mean, you did mention that Red 52 that you...
Yeah, 32 Red, TTR. I mean... It really, it's that thing that, you should invest in boring companies. Yeah, that's true to a point. I mean, I think if we're talking exciting as in graphene, as in nanotechnology, as in blockchain, then all that is a waste of time. You're going to lose your money on it. But if you're talking exciting as in, Boohoo, which is like exciting bit of clothing retail, but it's a proper business. It makes money, it's growing well, it's paying it, So it's hard to just say, exciting. It really depends on people's definition of excitement, doesn't it? I mean, you know, a boring stock can be pretty exciting if it makes you 300%.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think in one way it may be sounder to buy boring companies?
I think what it really means is back to this junk thing again. It's back to buy proper businesses, not story stocks, not things that are like, oh, we're going to make us all millionaires tomorrow. You don't want stocks like that. You want the stocks where they're real proper businesses generating revenue, generating profit, generating dividends. That's what you want. And if you chase all these blue sky story stocks with the latest innovation and this, that, and the other, you're just going to lose money.